Hey, something new today from VISEART. It's always a good day when we have something new from VISEART, along with some new lip looks from McGRATH Labs that we got to talk about. So a lot of fun stuff today on Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. I'm a fashion and beauty editor. I have spent well over 20 years with some of the biggest names in the industry, and because of that, I have taken that knowledge and brought it here digitally to YouTube so that you have a sort of digital beauty magazine that you can look through every day or so. All right, let's go ahead and get started. It's always a good day when we have something new from the artistes over at VISEART. They are always working with their community of artists, creators, and just everyday makeup lovers to enhance the shades that they invent and to bring new looks on their eyeshadows. They do purples like nobody else, literally nobody else. Their mattes are legendary, and they become more and more famous now for their shimmers. Easy to work with shadows, beautiful looks. This is a really subtle, beautiful one. This is the Visepro Midsommer Lumiere Etendu for $44. Now, to be absolutely transparent, VISEART was kind enough to send this to me, but you know, I also bought one. Why, Rebecca? Well, I never want to be so bold as to presume I'm getting PR. It's just not within my personality. I wasn't raised that way. And secondly, it does prove to you that I will put my money where my mouth is. They were kind enough to send this to me, but it is one I would have and did indeed buy if I hadn't. So I thank them very, very much. Maybe one day I will just wait for PR and not purchase, but I love VISEART and I get overly excited. This is an extension of the original Midsommer palette, which I have right here, and this one has these shades plus extended shades, dusks and moonlight petals. It's absolutely beautiful. Let me hold up the actual Etendu Midsommer, for you to take a look at. It's extraordinary. You know, I am asked to do swatch comparisons a lot with VISEART palettes, and Midsommer is probably my most requested comparison. It really is. I do my shade comparisons and swatch comparisons over on Instagram, so you can always ask for that down below, or just go ahead over to Instagram and ask, and I'll do that for you, and you might want some here. First of all, we are going to take these outside in a moment, but here you go. Here is the new palette, the Visepro Midsommer Lumiere Etendu for $44. Here is the original. I'm going to blind you with a mirror. They have the same kind of case, but they're different sizes, and this has extended shades. So if you love this one, it's still worth getting this one because the extended shades are quite beautiful. You'll see them in a moment swatched. We're also going to talk today about, well, one fell on the ground and tried to escape, but we're going to talk today about a new product from McGRATH. Well, reformulated, really. This is the McGRATH Legendary Longwear Lip Liner. There are 21 shades. It promises 8 hours of wear with zero feathering, smudging. They are really a beautiful, beautiful lip liner. If you already had her lip liner and loved it, this is reformulated to last longer, to not move, not budge, not feather, kind of the ideal lip liner. I don't know. I don't get a lot of complaints on this channel about lip liners not staying. Eyeliners, something totally different. A lot of people are like, make my eyeliner stay. I don't get as many complaints about lip liners, but it is nice to go through a meal or have something to drink and see that your lip liner is still in place. I bought 2 shades of the 21. I bought Nude Venus and Elson. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you about that when we get to it. I am actually wearing Nude Venus right now and have been, let me look in my mirror, for the past few hours. I lined and then filled in. And we're not going to do too well getting it off. You know, this takes some effort to get off. So we're going to probably just put the Elson right over it at the end. Elson isn't really fit for the look we're doing with the Midsommer Lumiere Etendu, but we'll just still try it on at the end. And there's a reason for these 2 shades that I picked up, which we'll talk about a little later. Let's go ahead and take the Midsommer Lumiere Etendu outside into the warm California sunshine. Check this out before we play with it and try it on. Isn't that beautiful? Just look at the shades. And I kind of turn a little bit and get out of the direct sun so that you can see the shimmers and what they're doing and how they play against the light and everything. It's beautiful. And like I said, this is one of the original Midsommer was one of my most requested swatch comparisons. A lot of people were looking for something like it. It's just a beautiful kind of neutral, some cool leaning shades, some warm leaning shades that just does a little everything for you. These do lean a little bit into the purples, which, as I told you, VISEART is the absolute best at. And I want to do 2 eye looks. I could do 12 eye looks and not even do them all, but I want to do 2, and I want to do a little bit of something like I did with the Lisa Eldridge palette the other day, her brand new one, Desert Gleam. I did one kind of one and done, and one more saturated eye look. And I want to do that here too, because I think one and dones are very popular right now because subtle eye looks are so popular. So let's do something subtle with this shade right here, which I think is really pretty. Let's just go ahead and do something subtle. It'll really go with that Nude Venus I have on my lips from Pat McGrath. This is a shimmer. It's got that purple kick to it, and it's multi-chrome, which is great for my eyes, that purpleness to it, because I do have green eyes. You don't have to have green eyes to wear things that are purple leaning, but it is supposed to be my color. Take a look at that. And I'm just kind of building. That was incredibly quick, easy to do, and beautiful, and done. I mean, I could leave now for the day and be ready to go. But on this eye, let's do something a little more innovative. As you guys know, I'm a journalist. I'm not a makeup artist. I don't even pretend to be. So I'm not doing anything that you can't just do at home. Nor am I doing anything intricate, because that's not my skill set. My skill set is typing. And I've come to YouTube because no one's reading magazines anymore. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Let's start with this shade right here. And I'm working with some Sonia G brushes today. And I'm just kind of putting this especially into the crease, but really over the lid. Again, a little bit of a purple leaning shade. Very, very pretty. Let's go in here, down here. Yeah, I'm still working with the mattes. And VISEART is really known for their mattes. A lot of people ask me to describe a VISEART matte. I would say they're very sheer, and they're very powdery, not in a bad way. Beautifully powdery, and they're beautifully buildable. So these are not if you haven't worked with VISEART before, these are not like that Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath swatch that's just going to be like really saturated and really, really heavy on the eye. And for me, that's a bonus. I like that. I want to be able to build shades and build color. Let's go down here. I like that. I like that subtlety. I also think that subtlety, I've said this so much the past few months, I also think that subtlety is right on point trend-wise. Okay, flipping this over, I'm going to go into this shade right here, kind of go into the inner corner of the eye and onto the lid just to add a little bit of light. These are also great shades if you want to highlight. You can make these a highlighter if you want to. And then into this shade right here at the top. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to try every shade, but I'm trying to jump around a little bit. So this is a really kind of beige look, very subtle, very beautiful. I like this for eye looks right now. And here's a one and done that's a little bit more exclamatory. Is that a good word for it? But both super pretty looks, aren't they? Really, really nice. This is a beautiful palette. It's got a nice combination of neutral mattes and shimmers. Nothing screams out. Nothing is overly dramatic. It's a peaceful palette. I've always found Midsommer to be really peaceful and kind of magical. It's also a great palette if you're looking for something to accompany other palettes where you don't have those kind of transition shades. This is just like a palette it works on its own, but it's also a beautiful palette of transition shades. And you do know that down below, you can use my code down below and get 10% off at VISEARTParis.com. 10% off is nice. At $44, it's a nice savings for you to try this. Or if you are a Midsommer lover and you want to go ahead and get this off, I will put that code down below as well, but do remember that my code Rebecca10 gets you 10% off on anything on VISEART. but this is a great one to grab, especially if you loved the original or never invested in the original. And it's still, look, I mean, I have really small hands, and this still fits in my palm. So still a nice size. Even with it being bigger than the original, it's still not a huge palette. And easy to work with, easy to decide. It's beautiful. I am a huge fan of VISEART. I love their products and how they work. All right, let's skip over to our Pat McGrath Legendary Longwear Lip Liner. And I'll tell you why I got the shades I did. I am obsessed, really obsessed, not in like some sort of an influencer way, like I'm as a human being obsessed with the Pat McGrath Mega Lip Pencils. I wear them all the time. For me, it's the only way to wear red. I line with them. They're chubby, but I line with them, I fill in, and I don't worry about it the rest of the day. I could go like 12 hours and it doesn't move. And I am I'm not good with lip products. I'm a lip smacker and a lip licker, and I like to put on lots of glosses that take things off, and I eat stuff and wipe my mouth, and I have never had anything last, like especially when I wear deeper, darker shades. So when she redid these pencils and promised they would be feather proof and they would stay 8 hours and such, I kind of wondered if they would end up just being a smaller version of the pencils I already have. And I do have Nude Venus and Elson in those mega pencils. And so far, it does feel like that, actually, with this Nude Venus. Almost looks like a My Lip color, but better. But that's been on for hours, and it feels like part of my lips. It hasn't budged. Now, normally, of course, I wouldn't layer Elson over Nude Venus, but I think it's fine. So let's see how this works. If I try to use this as a narrower, thinner version of her Mega lip pencil, do you need a thin version of the Mega, Rebecca? No, but I might line with this and fill in with the other. Let's just see. Really easy to use. Like, I think I would like this and then put Elson inside, you know, with the chubby pencil. Or what I would like to do is just, in a pinch, just fill in with this. Let's see. It's going to take a little more scribbling. I don't have very big lips, but you know, than it does with the Mega. And you know what would be really nice right here, you guys? If you like something like Elson in the lipstick, and you put it over this, you'd be all set, because if the lipstick wore off, you would have this underneath, and it's kind of indelible. Yeah, but this really reminds me of those Mega lip pencils, which I love. I absolutely love. But it's just like a thinner version. And you know, again, you could say, okay, well then you don't need that. You've got the, I don't know, I think I would probably line with this and then fill in with the Mega. Or just both like I did here. Or stick Elson lipstick over this, stick Nude Venus lipstick over this, or put a gloss on. And it's not gonna wear off. Now, I will say that the gloss sometimes can mess with the integrity of the product. Like with the Mega pencils, I tend not to put a gloss over it. I'll put a lipstick over it, even a creamy lipstick, but not necessarily like an oil, because just by nature, I think that could affect the wear a little bit. Now, if you were to come over here and I were to give you a big smackaroo on the cheek, which I would love to do, come a little closer. Would this leave something on your cheek? I have found with the Mega, it actually would, but it still doesn't mess with the look on the lips. So let's give it a try. Oh no. Oh no. Hey. So that almost seems like it'd be even more permanent than the Mega, which I've never had any trouble with. A lot of people ask me with the Mega pencil, and then they'll ask with this one as well, is it going to make your lips feel dry? No, it does not make your lips feel moisturized, because it's not like a balm or an oil. But that doesn't mean it makes it feel dry. What it feels like right now is that I have nothing on my lips. So it doesn't feel like I have a lipstick on, and it doesn't feel like I have a lip oil on, but my lips also do not feel dry. Now, we've spoken about this in the past, you guys. I've talked about the psychology of lip care, because there seems to be one, where a lot of times if we're not feeling that emolliency of a balm, we're like, my lips are dry, give me a balm. They're not dry. They don't feel dry. If you really stop and think about it, dry lips feel like dry lips. They're not dry. They're not peely. They just feel like I have nothing on them. And for me to get this much wear out of a red like I do with the Mega pencil, and I feel I will out of these too, but I'll report back, that's worth it. It just kind of feels like I have nothing on. If I rub my lips together, it feels like I have nothing on. It doesn't feel moisturized, but it doesn't feel like they're dried out either. And there is, I believe, a psychological difference, but you can weigh in below. So let me tell you, thumbs up, both products. You know you're going to love it when it's VISEART, especially when it's that midsummer. How beautiful. Don't forget that my code Rebecca10 will get you 10% off on anything you all want on VISEART. Thank you to them for sending this over and spoiling me. I appreciate them so much. I did purchase 2 of these pencils, and I'm not sorry I did. And I'm sure I'll purchase more, because the one good thing about these is we got 21 shades. And they're a small version of my Mega, but they're going to give me more shade choices. I just got to do a little bit more scribbling on some already thin lips. That's okay. I can handle it. I can handle it. So really good review. Beautiful, beautiful products. Got a lot of cool new things coming up. You may or may not have already seen Charlotte Tilbury, the blushes. I got some Guerlain coming up. Oh la la, so beautiful. You may or may not already have seen that also. All sorts of great stuff. Oh my goodness, I've got a Laura Mercier foundation coming up. I've got some of these you might have seen already, depending upon. I've got so much good stuff coming up. Swatches has made a really cool highlighter that we're going to look at too. And I've got, more new stuff on the way. So much new stuff, I don't even know where to start. So stick with us here at my 2 different eye looks that I have to go around with all day today. Do me a favor and follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. Join us on Facebook. We have a group over there. Really fun. And I'd love to see you at our membership here on YouTube. You can get details for that in the description bar. We have weekly lives, and I would love to see you there. But if not, comment, say hi. I love talking with you guys in the comment section here. Make sure you subscribe. Almost to 25,000 subscribers, which is quite a milestone, if I do say so myself. I'm very proud of our community here. So if you've been watching and you haven't bothered to click subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. It will help me get there faster. I would love it if you could. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.